So today you're going to need two images. One is going to be a nice sky, some location of a nice sky, and the second image is going to be of an object or an animal or a person, something that we're going to place inside that. So to begin with, open up one of your images and it will open up as a background by default, but we want to unlock that, give it a rename it, and then create a new background layer. Drag that background layer beneath, call it BG, and I like to give it a color. That way, if I make a mistake and I delete something by accident, it'll leap out at me and tell me that I've made that mistake. I did that with a paint bucket tool. So now we need to open up our other image. So we're going File, Place Embedded, and now we're going to search for that second file. So like I say, if this is an object or a person or a thing, you can't find your image, just pause this until you go find it. I'm going to use this Easter Island head. It's quite a simple one for the purpose of this demonstration. Okay, now I can't see it. I wonder why not. Well, it's because that layer that it's opened up on is beneath, the sky layer. But it's okay. One thing, when I'm resizing this, remember, if I want to keep the proportions the same, I need to hold the Shift key. Oh, I have noticed before I start that this image is a smart image. It's opened up as a smart object. And remember, with smart objects, it can be a pain to edit. It can be difficult to manipulate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Layers, Smart Objects, and rasterize that object so that it's a regular layer. So I want to be able to see it while I'm manipulating this image. So I'm either going to drag that layer above, or I'm going to use opacity. Now I'm dragging that layer onto the top, and I'm going to, by using Command T to transform it, I'm going to change it and place it. I've lowered the opacity down there in the bottom right, in the layers panel. I've altered the opacity so I can see through it and see exactly where it fits in the landscape I'm putting it and how big it's going to be. Now I've manipulated it holding Shift down to help keep the proportions, because I want to keep the proportions the same. Now I'm happy with that location. I'm going to raise that layer's opacity back up. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate a layer here. So I've two finger clicked, or right click if you've got a mouse, and duplicate layer. So now I've got two sky layers. One I call the sky floor, and the other I call the sky, and you're going to see why in a minute. So again, Command T to transform, and with the sky floor option, you'll notice I've just hidden the head, the statue, because I don't really want to look at that right now, so I've just hidden it. So now I'm transforming, I'm changing, I'm just rotating around the sky because I'm going to make it the floor. Again, I lowered the opacity so I could see through it, and I'm going to place it where I want it. Okay, so I'm just reorganizing my layers now to where I want them. I've raised the opacity again so I can see everything. Clicking in the click that eye so I can see everything that I want to. Next, I'm going to the quick selection tool, and I'm going to zoom in nice and close using Control Plus, and using that quick selection tool, I'm going to quickly select the whole of the head. I'm going to get in nice and close to make sure it's all perfect. Remember, if I want to take something out of the selection, like the heads over there that have been included, I'm going to hold down Option and delete that out of the selection. And anything that I want to add to the selection, if it's missed a part, I go inside, and with that I just click and paint it in. And like I say, to deselect, same thing except you hold Option down to paint something out. I'm just going to try and get this as smooth as I can. I don't want this grass, so I'm going to go on the outside, hold Option, and just paint the grass away. I think I'm pretty close now. Pretty good. Just quick double check everything, make sure that last bit ahead, just paint that in all the way up to the top, and make sure it's absolutely perfect. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going up to select, I'm going to inverse, because I don't want to delete the head, what's selected, I want to delete everything outside the head from that layer. So I go inverse, and I hit delete, and that's gone. The next thing I want to get rid of, I don't want the floor on the roof, so, and this is a bit easier, make sure I'm selected onto the correct, I have to make sure I'm selected on the correct layer, and then once I'm on that layer, I can just select that with the regular rectangle selection tool. Let me just hide the head so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, look, I've made that mistake, I didn't click on the right layer. I need to correct that. There we go. There we go. I'm on the right layer now. It's the regular thing, and I can just hit delete. Okay, because I know I don't want that. So that's very much a recap up till now, but now we're going to look at a very important new skill, which is called a layer mask. Can you see that little icon in the bottom right down there? It looks like a rectangle with a hole cut out. I'm going to click on. I've clicked on that, and that's given us a layer mask. You'll see on my layer there, next to the layer that I'm on now, which is the sky floor layer, next to that layer there is a white rectangle, and that's my layer mask. Now anything that I paint now will disappear because I'm painting with black. If I change my brush, and remember I can just switch between black and white by pressing the X button, if I switch to white, anything I paint will reappear on that level. So on that layer. On that layer mask, anything you paint in black disappears, and anything you paint in white reappears. So I'm just going to play around with this a bit now and see what I want. Do I want a little bit of land showing through, or do I want no land? Do I like that? Could just have a little wafer of land, but if I don't like it, see, I just toggle to white now and I can paint it out. And this is better than using an eraser because it's not destructive. I can change my mind. I can see I just change my mind. I have to keep switching between black and white, paint it in, take it out, paint it in, take it out. And this way, if you make mistakes, you can very quickly fix them. If you change your mind, you can quickly fix things. Alright, let's bring our head in now. And I'm going to use the same technique here. I'm going to make a layer mask. Bottom right, got a layer mask there. And now with this, how do I want to make this look? So maybe if I make it look like, so I'm trying to make it look like it's emerging out of the clouds, or it's like, I don't know, mystical. So I'm going for a really soft edge brush, really soft edge, and I'll try this and see how this looks. And what I'm doing, I'm just painting it out. Notice that my colour is selected as black, so it's just removing anything from this layer. I'm not sure I'm liking this. Yeah, I've tried it, but I don't think I like that. I think I actually want a hard edge, like almost like it's coming out of water or something. Maybe that's the look I'll go for. So, yeah, I just don't like the edge there. I don't like the way that, I don't know, preference thing here, isn't it? So, but the point is here, what I'm trying to show you is that with this layer mask, I can play around and change things because it's not destructive. I'm not having to go back. So now I've just changed to a hard brush, and now I've switched my color by pressing X. So now I'm painting with white, and anything I paint with white from this layer now appears, and we can see it. So now I'm getting a nice hard edge. Now I'm going to go for really quite straight edges here. Lots of quick, short, straight edges, and I'm doing that by holding Shift down and clicking. Remember, for a straight line, I move to where I want it, I hold Shift down and click, and it draws a straight line from my last point to where I am now. And that gives me really clean, straight, strong lines. So I quite like that. Yeah, I like the way that emerges. And I want to do the same on the outside, so I've switched now because I want to get rid of it. So I've changed to between black and white. I'm switching. And I'm going to black now, so I'm painting it out, and I'm going to remove any bits that are jerking out from the edge. And again, I'm doing the same thing by holding Shift down, so I'll get a really nice straight line where I want it. There you go. To be honest, one of the things with Photoshop is it's about the detail, and it's about taking the time and having the patience to make everything just right. Those details are what are the difference between a good Photoshop and a poor one very often. That and the choice of what images you're using. So I'm just cleaning this up now. I don't want it to look too clean, I don't want it to look unreal, but I don't want things mixed out. Now I can see a little bit there was a problem with my selection from earlier that I hadn't noticed, that fine line. So I'm just going to paint that out using the black. I'm just going to remove that, so that's all gone. Alright, quick check all around. Yeah, I think this look is pretty good. Now I've got an idea for the bottom here. What about if it looks like, you know, it's partially submerged? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for like a grey colour, because if we know that black paints in and white paints out, or vice versa, what will grey do? Well, grey is kind of like using opacity. So I've got a grey and I'm going for a really soft brush, and now it looks like it's kind of emerging through, doesn't it? Ah, looks a little bit like it's coming out of like it's growing out of water. I'm going to go for a slightly darker grey now, which will make it a little bit more hidden. So the deeper it goes, the more hidden it is. Good. And a little darker still. Even lower is going to be, the deeper it is, the less you can see of it, but you can still just about see it. And then the final one, just go down to the black and take out those hard edges at the bottom. So anything, once it's that deep, you can't see it at all. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's quite cool. So there, what we've used by painting white, we can paint things in from the layer. Painting black, you can paint things out from the layer. And using shades of grey, we can paint things so you can half see them, half not. Okay, one final little task, experiment, just to show you exactly, make sure you fully understand how these layer masks work. So I'm choosing a nice bright colour, something like a bright yellow. So I'm making a new layer here. I'm going to call it laser. So this layer is going on top, and I'm just going to do a kind of squiggle all around the head, using square parentheses to make my brush bigger. There's my squiggle. Okay, that'll do. So now I'm going to go and make a layer mask on the head layer. There's my layer mask icon on the bottom panel, in the layers panel. Zoom in nice and close. So by using white, if I paint, what happens? Nothing. But if I change to black by pressing X and toggling between my colors, black removes anything. So I'm going to remove a couple of the lines, just do it quite broadly, and then I'm going to use the square parentheses to make my brush smaller so I can get more detail and closer. Just going to keep painting black. There we go. Let's say I'm getting really close, because like I say, the devil's in the details with Photoshop. Shrink my brush right down with the square parentheses and get really close and accurate. Now what if I made a mistake? What if I was to slip accidentally? Ooh, there we go. Oh no, I made a mistake. All I do is I toggle using the X and I paint it back in from the outside. Okay, toggle again using X to go to black to remove. Remove, remove, remove. And now I've got my magic laser head in sky floor, or whatever you want to call it.